Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for March 20th. All right, let's take a look at the big picture here. We have the SPY futures. Today, the SPY sold off at the end of the day, and it's looking very weak. At the open of today, we are seeing the SPY trending sideways from the low on the lows here. I do believe that it's gonna want to test this high here at 2840 first, and then get stuff back down to test the lows here. We might see this range, and then eventually we might break either way from this 2840 to this 2828 area. So what does that mean? Okay, so what it means correlates to the SPY here on the intraday. I see some key levels here. I mean, these two lines are the high and the low of today. After hours, we see the SPY come down a little bit on the future side and test this 281.40s area and now bounce back up. Definitely going to be watching this 282.72 area or 282.70 area. Okay, look for a pop to test, and then a downward move or a sell off from there. That's what I'll be watching on the SPY. Going into the watch list real quick, we have first FDX. They announced earnings after hours, and they had a very negative reaction to it as their revenue and earnings miss, as well as lower their guidance. On the daily chart here, we are gapping down huge. We have major resistance right here at the 173 as well as 174. Major support being 172 major support. It's in right at 172, a little bit above 172 right now, and it tested the wick a little bit. So I'll be looking for this to snap and then continue to the downside, and looking for the target of 170 and beyond over here. Okay. We also see this very established resistance area. Now it's under it right now. I believe we're sitting a little bit on it. Let's see. Yeah, we're sitting on it right now. So it really depends on how it reacts tomorrow. My guess it's gonna gap down a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in the pre-market. Looking on the intraday chart though, intraday fundamentals, we have an inflection point here at 174. Okay, so this is when the hard volume came down, sold off, bounced, and then retested and failed. Now this 174 now becomes a very key resistance area. I'll be looking for a pop and a drop from there, as well as 173, and also we have 174.50. Okay, so very nice concise numbers here. $0.50. Well, not even 50s. How much does this go? Oh, 174.35. Okay, so we have a very nice concise resistance zone. As long as the stocks stay under this zone here, I do like it short. Okay, with the stock selling off so much and perhaps short sellers pile in, the stock is not on SSR yet, but if it comes down even more, then it will eventually hit SSR and then come back up. I'm looking for a pop and drop, looking for a pop into this 174 area and then drop it back down. And yeah, that's basically it. FedEx. Next up, we have Tesla, TSLA. Elon Musk is facing a world of hurt on with the SEC battling it out right now, and this in itself, intraday fundamentals wise, is really bad news for the stock. Right? We can see Tesla is following a very nice downtrend line over here. Okay, that kind of touches the 270 area, so this makes it a very key intraday resistance mark here. It's also a very nice round psychological whole number. Today we tested it, and like late day we tested it and failed and continued to slow up. What I'm looking for tomorrow is gap down, pop, and drop. So perhaps gap down under 267 here if it can get below, and then pop out of the gates, cover pop. If it holds under 267, I'll be looking for a short here, and then bring it back down to the lows and retest this 264 area. If it opens flat, I'm going to look for a pop and a drop. Look for a test of this trend line and continue trend. We had a nice doji day today, so it incurs indecision. But with the overall market looking so weak, I do believe it's going to reject at this 270 area, and then come right back down and test the low of this wick here. If this low can snap, though, we do have some room to the downside, but I really highly doubt it, as the stock is very overextended to the downside. From here at the 263.90s, 263.80s area, okay, I'll be looking for a double bottom of this double bottom over here, and then a higher low to for a reversal, and then long back up. And I think it's going to trade sideways within the range tomorrow, perhaps from 264 to 267, and then eventually late day we'll finally see it pick a direction either up or down. Okay, so that's Tesla. GRUB overall, the big picture is in a downtrend. Okay, so excuse me, I do like this stock to keep going down. Today, the stock sold off due to an analyst downgrade, so that's the intraday fundamental side of things here. We see that, let's see here, this 72 mark is pretty key. Actually, 71.50. So I'm going to mark off 71.50 as this is this morning's lows. And as it tested late day and snapped, after hours is selling off sideways again. We do have some heavy volume here at the 71.50 area, and I'll also be watching the 72 as well. Okay, so what I'm looking for is a gap down, pop, and drop. So a gap down, perhaps around the 70 area, and then pop back up, test this 71.50, and then bring it back down. I'm not sure if it's going to go under 70, which is a key psychological whole number. So we'll mark that off. That's pretty nice whole number here. And then we have this opening price at 71 as well. It's pretty close to 71, so if it's a gap down, pop, and drop, I'll also be watching 71 to reject. Okay, so 3 levels of resistance here. It might or might not get back up to 72.50. So we're going to mark that off as well. As far as target goes, if 70 snaps hard, we have the next target here at 69.30s, right? Okay, 69.30s, and then if that snap as well, we are going to first of all 68.50s right here. Okay, this lower wick here, and then 68 as well. So some nice targets here. If it's strong enough, it might even test the bottom of this wick here at 66.5. So we'll see. That's GRUB. And finally, we have Facebook. Facebook does not have a fundamental catalyst, as the fundamental catalyst was a few days ago. Today, I shorted it right here, right at, well, I basically identified a resistance zone, okay, from this 45 area. I found a nice 10 cents resistance on here, and I basically shorted it from here. I brought it down, covered, and then I shorted it again from here, and I brought it all the way down and covered. So I shorted it twice. Stock has sold off a lot. It's on a seller's candle, kind of doji, a gravestone. I believe this is like a inverted hammer doji. Okay, so looking for a pop and drop as well. It might gap down a little. So this 162.50 is a very key area, as it was March 15th's lows. Okay, so we're going to mark that off. I'm going to also mark off this area right here as we reach. We talked about this last night on my watch list, 161 to 160.75 area. Okay, this is a support area so far. Okay, so depending on what the stock does tomorrow pre-market, I do believe it's going to test. I want to see a hard snap through and before I short this weakness. Otherwise, I am looking for a pop and drop. Also marking off 162, as this is today's massive volume spike here at the open. Lots of volume done here, and now it's under it. So pop and drop. Currently, the stock is at 161.40. So if you give it some room, it might get back up to the 162.50s before it fails. Okay. Lots of resistance overhead, even here at the 162.75 today. This was very key, this point right here. And it failed through again too. So some key levels to mark off. I do like Facebook looking very weak here on this doji day. And that's basically it for my watch list. 4 tickers. I hope you guys enjoyed what you watched tonight, and make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Check out my video link description below for all the discounts for Tricks DVDs, his chat room discount, as well as the broker I use. I got a discount for the broker as well. So I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow morning. Ciao.